All right, let's do some Mathity-Math. It says here, Beta Ray Bill is standing at coordinates 30, 70. He picks up Thor's hammer, Mjolnir, and throws it as hard as he can. Mjolnir's flight path has a gradient of 3. That's the slope gradient, a slope of 3, and hits the ground at coordinates x0. Ooh, what is the value of x? Oh, okay. So we have a point, we have a slope, and then we have half of where it hits. And this makes sense. It's at 0, which if you think about the y-axis, that would be the ground. So we're trying to figure out where on the ground the hammer hit after Beta Ray Bill threw it. Cool. And then it says draw a sketch. It will help. And I'm going to take the advice of whoever made this question, because if they tell you to draw a sketch, they're probably doing that for a reason. So let's draw the sketch real quick. Okay, quick sketch just to get the idea going in our head. Okay, so it says Beta Ray Bills at coordinates 30, 70. So let's do tens. So 10, 20, 30. Cool. And then 70, okay. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. All right. So here is Beta Ray Bill. He's at 30, 70. And then he throws this hammer at with a gradient of 3. A gradient of 3. And it hits the ground. Oh, and I see why they want to draw a sketch here. This makes sense. You see, oh, very interesting. So let's draw a secondary sketch here. So if you have a positive slope, it's going to go this way, right? It goes up and to the right. And if you have a negative slope, it goes this way, down to the left. Now, if you think about this, if the gradient is 3, that's a positive 3, our line is going to look like this, right? So when it says the gradient 3, our inclination, I believe, is to draw a line going up here or maybe going down this way, but we know it's going to be a positive slope, so our line is actually going to look, something like that. Because when we read this from left to right, it's a positive gradient going up 3. So I get why we did this sketch. Okay, that does help me a lot. Okay, so that was a clever little trick there. Okay, we can handle this. So we are going to be using the slope formula. I'm going to come down a little bit here. Okay, so the slope formula that we're going to be using is, we know that slope is equal to, actually, let me put one last thing I can do with my marker. We know this point here is x, and we don't know if it's positive or negative, I don't know, but we do know y is 0. Okay, cool. Okay, so we know that our slope, whatever our slope would be, it's y sub 2 minus y sub 1 divided by x sub 2 minus x sub 1. Okay, so really all we have to do is fill in the information that we know, and we should be able to go from there. So I'm going to do it over here. So m, that's my slope, that's my gradient. I know that's 3, so I just write 3. And that's going to be equal to y sub 2. So I have to choose. I'll just do it as I always do. Start at the top, work my way down. So here's x1. Oops, there's y1. Here's x2, and here's y2. Okay, so my y2 is 0 minus my y1, which is 70. I fully acknowledge that that is a very unappealing y, but I made a mistake. Okay. Here we go. And x sub 2, well, that's just going to be called x, and minus x sub 1, which we're going to say is 30, because it's 30. Okay. Got a real doozy here. So first things first, let's do all the math we can do. So 0 minus 70, we know that. So we have 3 equals negative 70 over x minus 30. Okay, so at this point when we're solving these, we do need to make a choice about how you want to choose to attack this, okay? We really can't do anything with the minus 30 because it's combined with this x, but it's also a little tricky because we want to get this out of the denominator. So one way you can get this whole denominator to kind of make life super easy for you is actually just multiply both sides by the denominator. I'll do it over here. That's going to be x minus 30. And so watch what happens here. These actually will cancel. Okay, and then you just distribute this. 3 goes to x, you get 3x. 3 goes to negative 30, that's negative 90, and that equals negative 70. And just like that, by multiplying both sides by the denominator here, you create yourself a nice, lovely linear equation that's very easy to work with, okay? So now we just add 90 to both sides to get that 3x by itself. So now you're going to have 3x. These zero out because negative 90 plus 90 is 0. Okay, and negative 7 plus 90 is 20. All right, I'm going to scoot down a little bit so we can see the home stretch. Okay, so now we just divide both sides by 3 because the opposite of multiplying by 3 is dividing by 3. And you're going to get x is 20 over 3. Great job. If you want to write that as a mixed number, that would be 6 2/3. So you can also write it as 6 2/3. That would help you if you're trying to find the coordinate points. And, oh, real quick, this is positive, and I know you're like, whoa, but your sketch went negative. It was just a sketch. I clearly misjudged it. It actually would have been about like there, okay? And that's fine, right? Because this was just a sketch to give me an idea here to get a feel for what's going on. Okay, so there you go. Either one of these answers would work. And so now we know the value of x is 6 2/3 or 20 over 3 as you like. All right, great. That was an interesting problem, the little trick there. That's why we took the advice and drew the sketch. As always, if you want more practice problems or to be notified when I make them, go ahead and subscribe. And if you have any questions or comments or you found a mistake I made, please let me know. Just leave it in the comments. Thank you. Bye.